YouTubers! Mike Martin's here, Mike Martin's channel, coming with you guys with another special, very important edition of Trends in the Housing Market, broadcasting out of Merritt, British Columbia. You guys have no idea what's happening in this market. This market is too big to discuss in 1 hour segments. I've been flooded with emails like you would not have an idea of phenomenal. You wouldn't fathom how many emails I've been receiving here. So before we kick off the show, today is December 7th, 2017. It is your humble servant. It is I, Mike Martins. I want to thank everyone for joining us in the show. I want to thank for everyone and syndicates that are picking this up and rebroadcasting it through different parts of the world. I want to thank everyone for that. And I also want to thank the people that comment, that come in and comment. We have open lines tonight. It's 250-800-1489. If you want to get something off your chest, or you want to talk about what's happening in the housing crisis in your area or in your sector. I think I got the phone line thing figured out, so the phone number won't pop up on the screen anymore when somebody calls. I hope I got it right. I really hope I got this right. I spent quite a bit of time getting this fixed. December 7th, yes, I got my Santa Claus thing here going on because we are very close and the Christmas season is upon us, and I hope everyone's getting their shopping done in time. You know, men go on the 24th to go shopping, but a lot of women have been coming into my store, and families have been coming into my store and picking up their Christmas gifts early. I've been sending a lot of, helping a lot of people in town understand what this whole board game scenario is about, and kind of unplugging people. My goal is to unplug people off the damn electronics and getting them to sit with families like people used to do friggin' 20 years, 15 years, 10 years ago, when people actually used to spend time with each other. And that's what I'm doing. I'm unplugging. I'm unplugging and getting families together. So anyways, in all fairness, someone's commenting saying it's December 6th here. Well, it's December 7th for everybody else in the world outside of the Americas. Yes, once you cross the Atlantic, it's already pretty much Thursday morning. Anyways, guys, I got a lot to talk about in this show. There's lots of emails. You have no idea how many emails I've been getting on a daily basis. It's out of control. I gotta slow down, breathe. And I want to send out a shout out to the Lost Canuck, who's put his channel back up. God bless him. He's doing a really good job. He understands what's going on. He understands that there's a bigger thing happening, or there's a bigger picture that's happening outside of what we're told to look at. And sometimes looking outside the box finds you what it is you're looking for, especially in this housing crisis we're looking at. People need to start getting clever and find ways to survive, because I got some articles here that are going to rattle you and shake you to the bones. Let's move on here. I want to kick off this story first because it's very important, and I think it is, I don't know why it is resetting, but that's okay. Very important I get this out there. People keep finding hidden cameras in their Airbnbs. This is huge. Airbnbs, what is going on? People finding hidden cameras on these Airbnbs. So Airbnb is like this app that you get, I guess, that basically allows you to find places that you could rent out for cheap. And it's usually a lot cheaper than staying in a hotel. It is hurting the housing market because people are putting their places up to make it $100, $200 a day, as opposed to traditionally renting things out. So now they're finding cameras. I'm not saying all B&Bs or whatever you want to call them have this. I'm not saying that, but I'm saying that just be really careful. And so let's read this tweet here from Jason Scott. It says, and oh, that's a new thing news. A colleague of mine thought it'd be odd there was a single motion detector in his Airbnb in the bedroom, and voila, it's an IP camera connected to the web. He left at 3 a.m., reported, host is suspended, colleague got refund. Holy crap. Imagine walking into a place, looking for a place, to stay the night or looking to save some money, and you're being watched. You're being watched on your phones. You're being watched on every transaction you do. You're being watched on every phone call you make. So be careful when you call into the show. Everything is being watched. And now with these Airbnbs, like, I'm not saying it's all of them. So Airbnb, okay, this thing's got to stop here. Airbnb has a scary problem in their hands. People keep finding hidden cameras in their rental homes. Another host was busted last month trying to film guests without their knowledge, marking the second time since October that the company has had to publicly deal with this sort of incident. I can understand an Uber driver, I could understand an Uber driver basically filming his passengers because of safety. He's just picking people up and dropping them off, right? Safety of being robbed, safety of being mugged, safety of being someone steals his car. But this is nuts. Officials have been forced to ban accounts users in the past for deploying secret cams around their houses, including residents in Florida, California. An unidentified American archivist became the most recent victim. Wow. With his coworker tweeting a picture on 24/7. That's Jason Scott. A hidden device that he found while staying in an undisclosed Airbnb. Well, we can't tell people who it is because then we'll get sued if we tell people and warn people what's happening. Oh, that's the news. That's the thing now. News. A colleague of mine thought it odd there be a single motion detector in his Airbnb in a bedroom. In a bedroom of all places. Wow. It's an IP camera connected to the web, Scott tweeted. He left at 3 p.m. and he got a refund. The post has racked up more than 23,000 retweets and been liked by over 30,000 times. In response, Airbnb... Oh, come on. In response... where did I go? Oh, Airbnb released a statement saying they had permanently banned the homeowner and supported our guests with a full refund and reimbursement for expenses incurred. Despite prior reports, the spokesperson told the BuzzFeed News that on Monday that finding cameras in rental homes was incredibly rare. I mean, everyone's got a camera on their damn phone. I mean, there's cameras everywhere. I probably have not my webcam, but I probably have built-in cameras to everything here. You know what I'm saying? In October, a couple from Indiana found hidden camera in the master bedroom of the Florida Airbnb where they were staying in. It had been disguised as a smoke detector. Oh, that's pretty clever. In 2015, a German woman sued the company for negligence after she discovered a secret camera inside a California residence. I would love to see Airbnb take this seriously, but not if it means bringing that stress back into our lives, said one renter, who spoke BuzzFeed on the condition of anonymity. Anonymity. I can't even read. Anonymity. Whatever it says. The individual, they like to use big words to drown people out, you know what I'm saying? So they don't know what the hell they're talking about. But yes, I should be able to read that because I do have a grade 7 reading level. It was real scary because the dude knows where I live, my full name, my cell number. But at the same time, I know his full name number too. So I figured that kind of protects me. Well, it depends who you're dealing with, guys. So you got to be really careful. I wanted to get this out there. It's all over the news anyway. It was all over the news yesterday. And I am not a news channel. I like to discuss housing issues and housing problems and affordability crisis problems. And yeah, let's move on, guys. Toronto housing market stumbles as Vancouver home sales soar. Yes. So it's a tug of war. It looks like I said in the past videos, Toronto is Toronto, Vancouver is Vancouver. It's a 5-hour plane ride, 3 time zone difference. You have a huge. It's completely different. You could call it a different country if you want. I don't care what people say. We use the same currency as they do. But in my books, it's a completely different country, a different outlook, a different dynamic in investment, a different dynamic in taxes. It's a completely different scenario than Ontario. And yeah, so Toronto housing market stumbles as Vancouver home sales soar. Look at that. I mean, I already told you guys this was going to happen. Condo towers in Vancouver's West End, the city has seen bounce back in its real estate market led by condos and townhomes, the city's real estate board says. The cheaper units. But the detached housing market is... They fail to mention that, but the detached, what's propping up the Vancouver market right now are the condos and detached markets, and that always happens when you implement a new tax or some foreign stuff that implement outsiders from buying. But I'm thinking, in my opinion, a lot of investors, and if I was an investor and I wanted to buy 10 condos, I would want to buy them in condos. I don't care about the strata fee, but I know it would be tough for someone to squat in a condo. It'd be tough for someone to break into your condo when you have a concierge downstairs. Even though there's 10 units of people living in their units, you don't have a lot of traffic in those condos, but still there is a concierge downstairs watching people's stuff. So I think that would be a better investment for myself. You know what I'm saying? And so someone's commenting, why is Toronto going up and Vancouver well, why is Toronto going down and Vancouver going up? Well, let's find out. Canada's two priciest housing markets are both showing signs of recovery following the introduction of foreign buyers taxes in Toronto and Vancouver. But markets went off in separate directions in November. Data from the cities of the real estate board shows in Toronto, home sales were down 13.3%. November compared with the same month earlier. The average house price was $761,757, was at 2% lower than the same month a year earlier. And all the same sales buckled. Seasonal trend and rose slightly from October to 7,374 transactions. So this is a video here talking about Canada has a 30% chance of a housing bust video. It's somewhat based off a true story. If you guys want to watch it, it's on the article. Board President Tim Serrano suggested that sales bump may have to do with the upcoming new mortgage rules. It is possible that the upcoming changes to mortgage lending guidelines, which come into effect in January, have prompted some households to speed up their home buying decisions. So there's a new stress test and new home buying rules coming out in Ontario. So people are on the fence whether they should sell or buy or what's going on. A lot. I got some emails here to read to you guys. Some guy from, where is this guy? Right here. Jeff from Rexdale, Ontario says people are walking away in droves from pre-builts in the GTA area. So what's happening? A lot of people want to walk away from pre-builts. Keep my down payment, my deposit, whatever. A lot of people are willing to take that loss. So what does this tell you about what's happening? You know what I'm saying? Vancouver sales soared 26%. Residential home sales in Greater Vancouver jumped about 26% in November compared with the same month a year ago. The Real Estate Board of Greater Vancouver says the number of sales, which saw 2,795 homes, is 17% above the 10-year average of the region in November. Sales dropped by 7.5% in November compared to October, was just over 3,000 homes sold. So something's getting rattled out there. Board President Jill Aduli says that there is a steady demand in the market, with the townhome and condominium market being particularly strong because they're cheaper units and more affordable units. But in the end, when you're paying strata fees and all that stuff, it's really good. You know what I'm saying? So people are commenting in the comment section. The comments are buzzing right now, and things are looking good. The benchmark of an apartment property was about $648,000 in November, an almost 24% increase from November 2016. So it's a really good article. So like I said, BC is BC and Ontario is Ontario. They're two different countries to me. It's still Canada, yeah, I get it, but in a it's completely different. Taxation. The system is completely different. So I see the Toronto market really taking a dive, in my opinion, really fast. So now listen to this, guys. Listen to this. This is a really good one if you're living in Canada, okay? Liberals hesitate on home buyers' plan promise due to fears of fueling housing crisis. Okay, listen to this. In 2015 election campaign, Trudeau's Liberals promised to expand the home buyers plan, which allows some Canadians to borrow their RRSPs money to put towards the purchase of their home. RRSPs are retirement registered savings plans. It's for, I have RRSPs, I'm putting money towards it to retire. I'm self-employed, so I gotta kind of make my own pension up. RRSP is like a 401k in the United States. Now, what's happening is Canadians were allowed to borrow from their retirement savings plans to put towards a purchase of a home. But buyer's plan, which allows some Canadians to borrow RRSP's money to put toward the purchase of a home. So Ottawa, the federal Liberals are having second thoughts about a 2015 campaign promise, out of concern that expanding the popular home buyers plan would throw fuel on overheated housing markets. Okay, let me ask you guys a question. How many outsiders from Canada have RRSPs? If you're outside of Canada and you have RRSPs, and if you're from China, if you're from Taiwan, if you have RRSPs, and RRSPs are designed for the Canadian proper. The Canadian proper has RRSPs because you deduct taxes, you pay to the federal government, you are working towards a plan and the infrastructure and expanding and laying roots. Those people have RRSPs. Why is it they can't contribute from their retirement savings plan to the housing market when they're the ones that are going to live in the houses and actually make the difference? This is what I don't get about this. I don't get about this article. Is like, but that's the Canadian proper. You're guaranteed that the RRSPs that they would put into the down payment of buying their first time home or whatever the case is, you're guaranteed they are Canadian proper. They pay taxes wherever they are from the world. Who cares? But the fact is that they laid roots in Canada. They're paying taxes in Canada. There are children and sending them to school. These are the people you want to buy in the housing market. So listen to this. Promise of concern of expanding the popular home plan will throw fuel on the overheated housing markets. An international document suggests that high housing prices are a key reason that Liberals don't appear to be in a hurry to fulfill the election pledge that will enable Canadians to dip back into their registered retirement savings to help pay for a home. Why not? Because they're the ones that are contributing to society. Anyways, I want to see why this is happening. Let's look reading this article. During the election campaign, Liberals promised to expand on home buyers' plan to allow those affected by major life events, death of a spouse, divorce, or taking in an elderly relative to borrow a down payment for their RSPs without incurring a penalty. The current plan enables first-time buyers to borrow up to 25 large, tax-free from their RRSPs to put toward a purchase of a home. The amount must be repaid within 15 years. So basically it's your own money, but it's tax-free, but you could pay it back within 15 years. And the updates was posted on the website the government created to track the task of Prime Minister Justin Trudeau assigned his cabinet ministers. So this is not good because the people that would invest that money are people that are investing in Canada. And they can't invest on the first time they can't buy a home. So anyways, people are commenting here. So someone's saying, I'd rather be watching Letterkenny. That's nice. And then a lot of swearing going on in the comment section. And then actually I might even settle for The Sound of Music. Yeah, it's probably a lot better than what I'm talking about here. And then someone's commenting there saying, stop swearing. So a lot of swearing going on in the comment section. This housing market is fueling and it's upsetting a lot of people on what's happening. Let's move on. This is a really good story. So Liberals hesitate on home buyers plan. So basically people that are actually in the system can't contribute into buying a home. I don't know anyone outside of Canada that's not Canadian that has no intentions in investing in Canada that has retirement savings plan in Canada. 2 checks away from the streets. Housing crisis drives up U.S. homeless numbers. So, again, another problem in the United States of America. Well, and pretty much every other English-speaking country in the world is suffering with is, that's not bad, 2 checks away. I know some people that are a payday loan away and a half a check away from, not getting there. You know what I'm saying? It's okay, guys, I want to say something real quick here. Guys, I've had a lot of people comment and message me and asking me if those payday loan things are a good thing. Guys, don't get a payday loan thing. One of those pay tree or get your money today and pay us back when you get paid. The interest is like 70, 80, 100%. I'm not exaggerating. Please research this. I've had 3 people ask me and says, I'm really having a hard time getting food. What do I do? Like, if you maybe open an eBay account like I did. Sell a few things that you don't touch anymore. You'd be surprised of what you could sell on that damn thing. Maybe sell a few things, maybe an old computer that somebody might still be able to use and make a couple of $100, There's a lot of ways to do it nowadays that are not so, stay away from the payday loans, Maybe tell family or friends, say, I'm going to get a payday loan if no one helps me. They'll be like, okay, I'll help you. That's the worst scenario you could get in. You don't want to get into these payday loans, guys. 2 checks away from U.S. homelessness. So 2 checks is not bad. In Canada, I think it's even worse than that. America's homeless population has risen this year for the first time since 2010. The increase is reportedly due to the surge in the number of people in the West Coast cities. What did I tell you with the West Coast? West Coast is the gateway to the Orient, who cannot afford the rising cost of housing. The study by the U.S. Department of Housing and Urban Development revealed nearly 554,000 homeless people across the U.S. during local tallies conducted in January, up nearly 1% by 2016, AP reported. So 500... Oh, somebody's calling. Oh, damn, the number's still showing up on the screen, guys. Hello, you're live. Hello?
Hello?
You're live.
Oh, hey, how are you, Mike?
Oh my god, is this the Lost Canuck?
You got her, buddy.
Oh my god, Lost Canuck on the show, people. Lost Canuck is here tonight with us, joining us on Trends in the Housing Market. He's got his own channel, and I invite everyone to check it out. And, okay, before you say anything, can I ask you this one question?
Sure, go ahead.
Why are the Liberals not passing that promise they made that they will allow the Canadian proper that have RRSPs, that are living in Canada, that contribute to Canada, that build the infrastructure to Canada, that love Canada, not be allowed to use their RSPs for a first-time home buyer?
I'll give you the answer. It's a really good answer.
Why?
RSPs, right? They always, they're trying to tell us, well, we're going to put the RSPs away. At the end of the year, they give you, I guess you can call it a credit or a payback.
Okay.
Percentage back. But most people take that, well, especially today. Most of them take it and they spend it on themselves.
Yeah.
Right now, the government's making no money on it. They're making no money on it. You have to understand the business concept of it for the last 10 years.
Mm-hmm.
So they're not making any money on it. And what's happening is, if they take that out, they'll take it out to put it into a first-time home buyer. I remember, I don't know if you remember, Mike, when I started at 1990,
mm-hmm.
that came in where you could get your RSPs and use it as a down payment.
Right.
Now, they wouldn't tax you on it because you're putting it towards a house.
Right.
Smart, which you just said it, right?
Mm.
You're putting it back into the economy, and you're helping a person buy a house.
That's right.
Now what's happening is back then, you were paying 5-6%. Now so who's making money? No one. And they're living on that money in the background, trying to pay their CBP at the end of the day. If
okay.
people start taking that money out, then the banks have no leverage.
Okay, so there'll be a runoff on the retirement plan, on retirement accounts.
You got her, buddy. The pensions will be destroyed completely. They're already in trouble.
Uh-huh.
The problem is nobody's seeing the big picture at the end of the day.
And that's becoming a huge problem. And like I said, I it'd be nice that people, because that these people are Canadians. They contribute from all over the world, wherever they are. A lot of people contribute to their RSPs, and they are the ones that have a heavily invested interest in Canada.
That's right.
And these people it would be great for them to buy homes.
Oh, it'd be fabulous.
So then, you know what I'm saying? So this is kind of like...
Talk to Patrick Brown. I don't know if you know who he is.
Mm-hmm.
Running in Barrie's district, Simcoe.
Mm-hmm.
Running from the federal, actually going against Catherine Wynne here in Ontario. And I went to see him and I spoke to him for 10, 15 minutes. And I said, the only concern I got right now is the veterans and the pensioners. And what I mean by pensioners, I'm not talking people that just retired. I'm talking people that are well into their 70s. And I said to him, the one thing they shouldn't be paying is income tax. They paid it all their life, and now you're still taking it away from them when they're getting their pension check. So here's a question I want to ask you and the people that are watching and the future people that are going to listen in on the show, is we pay taxes on our income tax.
Right.
That money is put aside for our pension, especially in unions and establishments that they work for, big companies.
Mm-hmm.
So that pension money is put in a fund. So when that fund is made money and it starts paying you back, why are we paying income tax? It's just a question I want to ask. We already paid the income tax of getting that pension, and now we're paying it again to come out. And then it troubles me when the government says they have no money. It just drives me crazy. It just drives me crazy when you go buy a car. I don't know how it is in BC.
Mm-hmm.
I know here in Ontario, I'm just going off the handle. I'm making no sense right now. But I have two kids that bought both Volkswagen Golfs. We went to go and get a plate, and and they do fraud themselves in Ontario. So I go buy this car. I pay you, Mike. You wanted $3,000. I pay you $3,000 cash, right? You give me a receipt. Sign it to the ministry.
Yeah.
Matter if I got even a void check, whatever I gave you, they go by black book value.
Really?
That black book value could be $5,000, so I got to pay taxes on $5,000, even though I didn't pay $5,000. So
exactly.
Problem right there. If you're creating a make-believe story that how much you paid for that car, the government already is showing you that they need the money so bad that they're going to steal it from the consumer.
Well, that's exactly what's happening in our housing crisis right now. People are so delusionalized that they believe that the average house should be $1.2 million, and they pay it.
Oh, I know.
And that's
funny because I put out a video. I don't know if you watched it. I know you're busy like I am. And I said I went to a site, and the builder even knew who I was. Kicked me right off the site.
Mm-hmm.
And I said to him, I'm only doing the videos not to criticize you guys. I hope you guys build and sell like crazy.
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, people shouldn't be getting mortgages or loans just to pay a deposit. And that's what's happening right now.
Oh yeah, people getting loans to put down a deposit that's pretty bad. It's like robbing Peter to pay Paul back.
That's right. And they're paying up to 12%.
Exactly.
12% on $60,000. So
it's yeah, that's yeah, like exactly, yeah. And 12% is generous because some people are getting desperate. They're walking into these bizarre jumbo loans and Mickey Mouse loans and getting themselves and signing what they have no idea what they're signing just for the fear of being bought out of the market.
That's right. And there's another thing I want my viewers. I put it on my Facebook.
Mm-hmm.
I was talking about the hedge fund and all the fraud that's coming out slowly. Now, when I tell you it comes out slowly, this is unbelievable.
Mm-hmm.
You can even check it out yourself. His name is Philip Baker.
Okay.
From Toronto. He actually went to prison, and he had a partner by the name of John Kruger.
Okay.
Guess where John Kruger is working today?
I don't know.
Royal Bank of Canada.
Wow. So guys committing fraud and then going back to these positions or jobs. Wow.
Yeah. So you can look it up. It's on the Global Mail. Philip Baker he went to jail. He served his time, and we're not talking 5-6 million. You're talking 294 million.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? They committed fraud. So this John Kruger all of a sudden gets a job at the Royal Bank of Canada. What does that tell everybody? Either this guy had some inside stuff against Royal Bank, what I'm thinking, my opinion, and Royal Bank went to him and said, we'll offer you a job as long as you keep quiet.
Probably. Who knows? There's too much inside stuff that's happening. I don't know if you remember this, but this is way back. But do you remember about a year ago when all these people working for these big, huge investment firms were jumping off of buildings?
Yeah.
Like 7 people or 8 people in a week jumped off the top of a building, and they were high-end, high-paid investment people.
Merrill Lynch, that's what it was.
Yeah. That's huge. It's like, what do they know, or what were they in fear of dying for? Like, what were they in fear of their lives for that they decided to end their own lives?
Yeah. Right. You're right. Just coming out slowly. And there was one article, Mike, I don't know if you read it.
Mm-hmm.
They were talking about home capital or B lenders are only 1% in the market. You believe that?
No, it's like 22%.
Thank you. So this guy had this article that said 1%.
No, it's 22. It's 22.66, 22.69 or something like that. That's what...
Okay, so imagine if 22% of the market in Ontario crashed, which it should have.
Mm-hmm.
What would happen to everything else?
Well, everything else will crumble around it.
That's right. And home capital is backed by certain banks.
Mm-hmm.
Because they have to have it in a bank account. They don't have their own. They actually have to have use a bank account or a commercial bank to do their business.
That's correct, yes.
So they got to use somebody's line of credit or somebody's business to keep it going with the cash flow. And then when they ran out, that's when they ran into problems.
Mm-hmm. I hear you. Anyways, I got other people calling in here from out east. I'll let you. I appreciate you calling in and giving us your input. I'll let you co-host the show sometime, maybe whenever you can. Let me know.
Yeah, I'll give you a week's notice, even a couple days' notice if it's okay.
Yeah. I got 3 other people calling in here. Holy crap! Everybody wants to. Guys, call me private.
Okay.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hello, you are live.
Oh, hey, Mike.
Hey, how's it going?
Hey. Yeah, I'm just calling about this crazy housing situation.
Okay, where are you at?
I'm in Toronto.
Yeah, okay. I can see from the area code because they have a 647 area code around there. Yeah.
It's crazy. You know, I've been out here for about 4 years, and you can't buy anything in Toronto itself. Like, you literally can't get anything for less than $1 million.
Well,
something like a 2-bedroom, 2-bath condo.
Well, never mind that. You can't even get into anything in Oakville, Mississauga, Brampton, Newmarket, like anywhere.
It's crazy, man. And you know what? I'm a guy that makes 6 figures annually.
Mm-hmm.
I can't even contemplate even buying a property in this market. I'm renting right now. It's absurd.
Is there any way that you could do what you do from, like, maybe in a remote location?
No, I got to report to work every day. That's the problem, right? Like, I got to go to work every day, and you know, I have friends. They a couple of friends of mine. They recently got married. One of them just bought a property, $1.2 million, 2 beds, 2 baths, detached home. They don't even have a yard. They paid 1.2. I think it's about 1,200 square feet.
1,200 square. Sorry, you're breaking up a bit. 1,200 square feet for what? For how much?
1.2 million. They don't even have a front yard or a backyard.
Oh, Jesus wept.
Yeah, it's insane. And I don't know. I don't know. Something's got to give. You know.
This is phenomenal. I wish I could take you to West Palm Beach and show you some of the houses there that are going for like 430 grand. You would be like, what the hell? You know,
But my situation, I got to report to work every day. That's the problem, right?
Mm-hmm. So my question to you is, like, you can't do something remotely. Okay, that's fine. You got to report. You got to do your thing. I get it. So you got to hold off and rent, bud. you know what I'm saying? Buying into the market right now, especially when there's so many people in the GTA walking away from their pre-builts, is ludicrous.
Exactly, and that's you know, I've been renting now like for 5 years. I've been saying I'm going. Hold on, do you mind hold on for 1 quick second?
Yeah.
Mike, sorry about that.
Yeah, no problem.
Yeah, I've been renting for a good 5 years, and I kept saying to myself, and I've been telling my girlfriends, like, hold off, the market's going to correct, or hold off, the market's going to correct. But the problem is my girlfriend, she sees everyone around us buying real estate. Here's the funny thing. Like, just a month ago, she called me a loser and left me. I don't own property. So I'm single now. She left me because I wouldn't buy a property.
Well, dude, you know what? Well, you know that she wasn't the right person for you then. If she wants to pressure you into something that's going to eventually put you into slavery for life.
Yeah, she just like kept pressuring me. And I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to. But my friends all around me started buying. They're buying homes over $1 million, and I said, no way, I can't do that.
Do you remember 5 years ago what $1 million bought you?
A lot more than it does now.
Buying power, exactly. A lot more. I mean, I'm talking a water fountain in your entrance of your house, a friggin' separate garage, separate from your house, a pool. Yeah, no, things are way out of control, and especially in the GTA area, you gotta hang in because don't worry about what people tell you, because buying in right now is, especially in the GTA, is absolute. In my opinion, I am not an advisor of any sorts. I think it's just financial suicide.
Well, I tried to explain that to my girlfriend. I said, you know, you can't buy a place for 1,200 square feet. That's 1.2 million. That's like 100,000 for every 100 square feet. I'm like, it doesn't make any sense. And she said I was a loser and I couldn't man up.
No, you're just making. Can I tell you one of? I remember I was at a investment seminar down in West Palm Beach, and Donald Trump was hosting it. And you know what he said?
What's that?
Some of the best investments you ever make in your life are the ones you don't make at all.
That's right.
1,000,000% right. And you probably saved yourself from doom and gloom. And can I ask you a question?
Sure.
Would you like to pay for something that's worth less than what you bought it for a year down the road?
Well, that's the whole thing. Like, I'm a business guy, so when I buy something, I want to make some money off. Like, I want to buy an investment. I don't want to buy like something that's like going to lose value. I want to buy something that's going to make value, and I can grow with it throughout my life, right?
So yeah, no, that's your 1,000,000,000% on the ball there. You know what you're doing. And sometimes some of the investments you don't make are the best ones you'll make in your life. And unfortunately, a lot of people don't realize it. And everyone thinks that housing is just going to keep going up. So let's say housing goes up another 20%. Do you know that the cities the major cities in Canada will eventually become abandoned because no one could afford to live in them?
I don't understand who's buying these properties. Like, I know some of my friends have, but I'm like, I know they can't afford it. Like, it doesn't make any sense to me.
Well, it's not definitely can't afford $1 million house because their wages obviously don't offset what they're buying. But it's the cheap interest rates that were introduced, and this, and first-time buyers, and all this stuff, and these loans and stuff. And people get all rolled up into this and thinking that they're getting ahead, when in reality they're entering into some sort of financial massive suicide. And like, you know what? You could buy a nice jet for $1 million. Did you watch that episode? What you could buy for $1 million? That one I did.
I've been looking all over the world, Mike, and what you could buy for $1 million is literally quadruple what you get anywhere in any big city in Canada.
You could buy a gigantic castle in Spain, a gigantic one for $400,000.
Exactly. I got to tell you, Mike, I couldn't do it. I couldn't buy a property, not at these rates. But what hurt the most is when I told my girlfriend of 4 years, I said, can't do it right now, better if we rent. When she looked me square in the eyes and said, you're a loser. That's what really hurt.
But no, you're not a loser, dude, because you didn't get into a financial... So why don't you, from that day that she told you that,
I haven't seen her since. I haven't seen it since.
No, but what I'm saying to you as a friend, look at what you would have bought and the property that you would have bought, and then take a look at that property, print off the information of the property, hold on to it for a year or 2 years, then look back at that same property and see what it's going for 2 years later, and see if you made the right or wrong decision.
Oh, I'm pretty sure. I'm 100% sure I made it.
Because 2 years from now, if that property goes up another $1 million, then we're all screwed. We're finished. There's no way anyone could afford anything. All the cities will remain abandoned. There's no way anyone could afford. Even with a 10-figure salary, you can't afford it.
Well, you know what? You know what that means, Mike? They call it the first world because everyone can afford a lifestyle.
Right.
Prices go up like that, then we are not third world, we're fourth world because nobody can afford to live a lifestyle here anymore, so we're below the third world.
Everyone's living off borrowed money.
Exactly.
And the people that bought in at the right time are writing off the coattails of their second mortgage or line of credit.
Right.
And then those people are forgetting they did not win the lottery and they got to pay that back.
Yeah. Well, like I said, I told her, I said, I can't do it. And when she called me a loser, I called her mother and said, I can't do it. And even her mother said I was a loser.
Yeah, just stay, you know what? Like I said, keep the information of what you bought. Keep it keep it in one of your drawers. 1 or 2 years later, look back at that and then see if you were a loser or not. And I know you're 1 trillion% right. And some of the best investments you make in life are the ones you don't make at all. So
I know, but it hurts. Single and stuff, it's lonely.
No, you're not. Go to Thailand or go to Taiwan for a couple of weeks.
Right, I should do that.
Yeah, take a couple of weeks off. You need to de-stress. Go to Thailand. I've been to Bangkok so many times. Go to Pattaya Beach. Go spend 2 weeks. Have a few drinks on the beach. Have some fun. Loosen up. Just enjoy life. Life's too short. You don't take these homes with you when you die. If you did, it would be a different story, but you don't.
Thanks, man.
Anyways, brother, I gotta let you go.
All right, buddy.
Stay strong, and we'll talk soon.
Really good work.
Thanks, bro.
Keep it up. Thank you.
Yeah, bye. All right, I got someone else calling. Hello, you're live. Nope, they hung up on me. Anyway, so the show's doing pretty well. A lot of people calling in. I'm liking. Whoa! There you go. See, you guys could call private. Hello, you're live. How can I help you?
Hey, Mike.
Hey, how's it going? Oh my God, I forgot to answer it through the phone. Can you call me back, bud?
Yeah, I can do that.
Call me back. All right, someone's going to call me back right now. I answered it through the computer by accident. I need to answer it through the phone so it actually goes to the phone. There we go. Hello, you're live.
Oh, hey, Mike.
Yeah, how you doing, buddy?
I'm doing good. How are you?
I'm doing fantastic. Where are you calling out of?
Toronto.
Oh, Toronto. Yeah, Toronto. What's going on in Toronto? People walking away from their pre-builts. What's going on?
Well, last caller, that's pretty interesting. That's a pretty interesting story right there. I got a story similar. I got a friend of mine who actually just broke up with his friend here in Toronto. Going to buy a home here. Same situation. That's very interesting.
And they break it off because they couldn't buy a home, or?
Well, no, they were looking at homes for quite some time. The price kept going up and up, and he told her, I don't want to do it. He was telling me, what should I do? I'm like, do what you want to do. And he didn't buy the home. Now they broke up.
Wow. No, it's what's happening is this massive. We're living in a, like the other gentleman said in his last call, we're living in a fourth world country because we're all living on borrowed money.
Yeah. Pretty crazy. What do you think is going to happen with this housing market here?
To be really honest with you, there needs to be a correction of some sorts or some sort of an adjustment, or everyone needs to get a huge increase in pay, because it's going to be, to me, in my opinion, I'm not a professional, but I think it's going to be extremely disastrous for a lot of people that bought into the market at the wrong time. And I think a lot of people that were the fear of missing out are going to be on the hook, and they're the ones that are going to pay for this whole crisis, and the taxpayers.
Yeah. Like, I've been talking to my buddies about it for quite some time now. Like, I'm not a rich guy or anything. I'm my own business.
I work a job, like, I work in the sewers, like, we clean the pipes,
Mm-hmm.
and, like, it's, we've been talking about, like, the whole thing crashing for the last 10, 15 years now.
Crashing is in the cards because the entire system and the entire lending system and the entire governing of this system is built on a house of cards. There's no foundation.
Yeah, but I mean, it just keeps going up. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, it's going to keep going up, and it's going to get to a point where you're going to start seeing abandoned cities because people, the local people that actually pay for the infrastructure, the local people that actually build what's there won't be able to afford. If people won't be able to afford to live, right? And that people have to leave.
Yeah, it's interesting. Like, you mentioned Thailand to that guy. Like, I clean septic tanks for him, okay? And when I tell girls what I do in Toronto, they laugh at me. I went out to Thailand there, and I told girls, yeah, I clean septic tanks, I work in the sewers, and they were really turned on by it.
Well, because you got to understand, women, like, in other countries, people, they don't judge you. They actually happy that you have a job and that you support yourself and your surroundings. A lot of women in other countries culturally are just happy that you work and take care of yourself, right? They don't care what you do as long as you feed yourself, right?
They actually like respected me. Like I actually went to a game here, a Blue Jays game. This was in the summertime, eh?
Where did you go? Sorry, you're breaking up.
Oh, I was at the Blue Jays game up at the Dome here.
Okay.
I was at a Blue Jays game, and some buddies there. We're having some drinks, watching the Jays. Having a great time. It was summertime, like in August, eh?
Mm-hmm.
And told the girl like what I did for a living. Threw a drink in my face.
And then what did she say?
Threw a drink in my face. I'm like, yeah, I clean septic tanks for a living. And she threw.
And then?
Oh, sorry, was I breaking up there, Mike?
Yeah, you're breaking up big time.
How about now?
Yeah, you're better now.
Okay, so I'm like, yeah, well, she asked me, what do you do? I go, I clean septic tanks. She threw her beer in my face.
She threw her beer in your face?
No joke, buddy. I was covered in beer, and I was like, holy shit.
Yeah, you know what it is? It's like I said, it's this huge selfishness. Instead of being happy for you that you're independent, you feed yourself and you take care of yourself and you can pay for the baseball tickets on your own to go watch the damn game, people for some reason are offended by that. No one looks beyond the job. They always look at the job title. They don't look beyond the stability that you have in life. Hello? Yeah, you're breaking up big time, bud.
That's exactly right. That's right. Like, I'm not gay, but I still.
Hello?
Yeah, Mike, I was saying, like, you're exactly right. Like, I'm not gay, but I still do stuff, right?
Okay.
Put that out there. But yeah.
Anyways, I'll let you go. Have a good night. Thanks for the input, and don't forget to call in next week.
Okay, take care, buddy. Eh?
Stay strong, buddy. All right, guys. So we got people calling into the show. People breaking up over housing crisis. People separating over housing crisis. So we got a lot going on here. If you want to call in private. Don't be scared. I don't know why. I'm trying to get this thing from popping up on the screen. So 193,000 people had no access to nightly shelter, and that's happening in the U.S. I got a lot of messages coming here. Someone commented from the States says, do not refer to it as a housing crisis because it's not. So if we're not in a housing crisis, then what the hell are we in? A housing jamboree? A housing fiasco? What's it called? And that's from somebody anonymous that emailed me. And then Leslie from Cincinnati says, I always stay up to watch this show. It is so true and real. If people want to get a dose of reality, they should watch your channel. And then Leroy from Harlem, New York says, my aunt is living 22 miles outside of Seattle and is being evicted by renovators. Like you said in the previous show, evictorators. We talk about your show at our local barbershop piece. So word is getting out there. about the show and stuff, and people contributing to the show. And look at this: more UK children homeless or in temporary housing than during the crash crisis. This is going to be really bad, people, and I feel sorry for these families that are really having a hard time to make ends meet. And it's not like these people don't work either. These people probably work 2-3 jobs and they're killing themselves just to make ends meet. Estimated 128,000 children are without a home, more than were in the same situation in 2007. More children are homeless or living in temporary accommodation than at any time since 2007 and 2008 financial crash, with many sharing single rooms with entire family with nothing to cook on. So this is in the UK, guys, okay? So this is a big problem outside the UK. The estimated 128,000 children are facing such... 128,000 children? Our next generation? The generation that's supposed to take care of us is having... 128,000 in the UK alone are having problems finding a place to sleep? This is nuts. Which the housing charity shelter says is a national scandal. It estimates that 140 families have become homeless every day. Are you friggin' serial? 140 families have become homeless every day. Why? That's crazy. And how many of these people's families, grandparents and parents bought into the tax system or contributed to build these homes, and now they can't even live in them? One father of the charity interviewed described how he lived in a motorway travel lodge with his 16-month-old son and had to heat up jars of food in the kettle because there was no other cooking option. A 17-year-old girl said her parents and their siblings lived in one room for 4 months. Is this... why? These people sleep in a double bed with one person at the bottom and 2 people on the top, she told the researchers. This is out of control. This is 140 families homeless every day. Sorry, I forgot to hang up the phone. 140 homeless families every day. Why is this happening, people? I don't know what to tell people. I don't know why this is becoming such a problem to... It's beyond. It's like, how do you fix this? What do you do? A lot of people complain, oh, your show is about doom and gloom and you're always negative, and like, no. 140 families are becoming homeless every day in the UK. What do you do? How do you fix this? Like, anyways, yeah. Homeless population rise and buy-driven West Coast affordability housing crisis. That's what I've been talking about. The gateway to the west, the gateway in the west is the Orient, and a lot of investors pouring into the West Coast. Homelessness in the United States swept up slightly this year for the first time since 2010 during a one-night count in January. 553,000 people were found living outside or in shelters across the country, 0.7% increase from the year before, according to the new data of the Department of Housing and Urban Development on Wednesday. This is ludicrous. This is beyond, like, whoever comes and fix this would be considered like the highest archy of human intelligence, someone that could come in and fix this problem. I think we need a biblical intervention, or we need some sort of aliens come in here and fixing this problem, because this is how bad it's getting. And guys, I want to do a quick plug. Oh, someone's calling private. Let's see who it is. Hello, you're live.
Oh, Michael.
Yes.
Hey, Seamus here. I'm calling from Ireland.
Wow, are you really calling from Ireland, or this is a prank call?
No, man. I'm calling from Ireland. I actually... I used to live up there in Canada about 7 years ago, Mike.
Okay.
And it's crazy what's happening. I know the prices just keep going up. We had, in Ireland here, we had a crash about 6 years ago.
Okay.
And we had all the properties come down, like I'm talking 60%.
I understand that, and now there's a resurgence of properties going up in Ireland. I've been following what's happening with a lot of families sleeping rough there.
That's right. That's right. We saw like a massive correction. I do think, because I think Canada, I know it's expensive, and I do think you guys are due for some kind of a correction in some way. If something's got to give.
Oh, there definitely has to be, because the Canadian proper, and when I say Canadian proper, I'm talking about people from all over the world that contribute to the country, that make Canada their home, aren't able to live in Canada anymore.
That's right. I had some, my parents, I had the property that I've been in my family for a generation now. And I left Canada because I don't have to pay a mortgage. And when I was in Canada, I was up in Alberta there,
okay,
and I was really struggling. Like I was just working just to get by. It was really tough.
Yeah, it is, and especially when you're far away from family, it makes it even worse. You know what I'm saying? Especially when you're not rolling in the dough like you thought you would have been, right?
Well, I went there to make money, and I found out real quick I wasn't going to make anything being there. It was just really. I was working, and there was no social aspect to anything. I didn't talk to anybody. Nobody wanted to be my friend.
Antisocial, buddy. Antisocialness. I lived in the city of Vancouver, and I was single the entire time I was there because I'm too short, and women only date guys that are 6 feet or taller.
That's exactly. I'm 5'8" myself, and the thing is, I'm a hard worker. I work. I put in the work, but when you go home and nobody even talks to you, and you have weekends all alone, it really starts to build on you. I realize, what am I doing here? I gotta go back home.
And that's why I left my major city of Vancouver and moved out to where I am now, because I just, what was I doing there? Even though I had a lucrative business that was making me a lot of money, it just wasn't making me happy.
Yeah, it goes to the point, Mike. Like, I'm ashamed to admit it, but I would work all day, and then I would go see an escort at night. And at the end of the escort meeting, I would feel like a big zero.
Yeah, no, I feel you. But yeah, and then, so what did you do when you were in Alberta?
I was working on the pipeline there up north in Fort McMurray.
Okay. So that's the
there was a lot of work up there, but they had a little about the oil. What's that? Hello, Mike. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I'm here.
Yeah, I was up in Fort McMurray in northern Alberta.
Okay, so that was a lot of work out there. There's a lot of work still going on there. I think they're trying to revise that area and get oil back on the map. But I think oil...
in my opinion, it's a terrible place for a man. If you go there as a single man, you will be a very lonely person. The properties are very expensive, and you will never have a female even look at you if you're under 6 foot tall. I'm not joking. I'm serious.
I believe you, brother. I believe you. I believe you. So now you're okay now in Ireland, I take it?
I'm in Ireland now. The prices are starting to come up, but it's affordable. I mean, if you want to get a 2-bedroom, 2-bathroom, let's say a condominium here, we're looking at about 130, 140 euros. It's very affordable.
Which is roughly 150,000 US, right?
Maybe about 150, 160 US.
Okay, so now basically what's happening with the younger generation is they're struggling to move out to Dublin, and there's a lot of job creation in Dublin right now, and a lot of people that I have spoken to can't work in Dublin because they can't afford the first and last month and their damage deposit. So there's companies in Dublin right now paying people's first and last month's rent to be able to get them in.
You're absolutely right. Dublin's just a mess. It's very expensive in Dublin. I'm living on the outskirts, on Wiltshire, so it's a little bit more affordable where I am.
Right. But people wanting to advance in some sort of field that they're in, everything is pretty much in Dublin if you're getting into the tech industry, and unfortunately a lot of people can't afford to live there, so these companies are looking to relocate to smaller towns.
That's right. That's exactly right. That's what's happening. We're seeing that's happening right now.
Have you seen what's happening in Edinburgh?
Yeah, it's very interesting. It's because, like you said, like I heard the last call, that something's got to give, right? Like people can't afford it. It's almost as if like for example, when I was in Alberta, I was doing the math and I was really I was motivated. But I said, if I stay here in Alberta, where a 3-bedroom, 2-bathroom house is going to cost about $700,000.
Wow.
I won't pay it off until if I'm lucky, by the time I'm 65, 70. There's no life in Canada for me, Mike.
700,000 Canadians, like 500,000 euro. And that could buy you a couple of homes. Oh, we lost our connection with our buddy there from Ireland who called in. He's back in Ireland now. He's doing really well. And we lost connection with him. He lives just outside of Dublin and in the outskirts there. Sorry about that, guys. Gotta wet my beak there. So, catch my show, Starting a Home Business, Part 6, Basic Shipping for Beginners. It's really good. I actually found a new way to ship, and I've been saving. Okay, here we go again. That startled me. Hello.
Oh, hey, Mike.
Yes.
Hey, it's Eddie.
Hey, how's it going, sir?
Good, how are you?
I'm doing good.
Yeah, hey, love the show. It's an awesome show, man. Really love it. And, I've been watching you for a couple months now.
Well, thanks, buddy. Where are you calling from? Where are you?
I'm in Saskatchewan.
Oh, cool. Oh, right on. How's the housing crisis treating you guys out there?
There's a lot of vacancies now out here, eh?
Okay, in your knowledge, is it vacancies as in investors, or is it vacancies as in no one could afford to buy the property, so they're owned by the bank?
Oh, no, Saskatchewan's going to shit. I mean, people are leaving. It's vacancies, like all the condo buildings, they got like free rents, free internet for the first month. They got all these contracts and stuff. It's pretty neat. Cheap rents too.
So what's the driving force of the economy out there? So people listening might want to relocate to a city they could afford to live in. What's the driving force of the economy of the province?
Oh, honestly, it's prostitution.
Holy Christ! So,
no joke. That's no joke, Mike.
Buddy, I believe I'm not saying you're wrong. I mean, Saskatoon, isn't there potash there?
I don't know what's potash. It's like the fertilizer company.
Yeah, potash. Those guys that make potash. Isn't that a big manufacturer there in that province?
Oh yeah, there's a few, but I'm telling you, like talking to people and stuff, a lot of people are laid off right now. There's no jobs. Condo buildings out here, Mike, you'd be shocked. Like they'll do anything to get you in the door. They'll give you 2 months up front of free rent, eh? And I've been talking to a lot of friends of mine. Everyone's doing prostitution. All these girls are doing prostitution out here. There's no jobs.
It's wow.
The guys are all doing labor, and the girls are all doing prostitution.
Wow. That's
yeah. You go on like I was talking to a buddy of mine. He's like, go on Backpage. There's like 10,000, 20,000 ads on there. I'm like, what's going on here? Like, is this the economy of Saskatchewan?
Yeah, dude. I mean, this is a real serious problem when people need to sell their bodies to make ends meet. And
well, no, but your other callers, like you had a few callers you had on. I heard a couple of them talking about, can't get a girl, can't get. I don't know, these guys. That's a pretty common story I'm hearing too.
Yep. And you know what it is people are not happy that you could support yourself and feed yourself anymore, and don't care what you do. There's too much of a checklist nowadays. You got to be a certain height, you got to be a certain width, you got to be a certain culture, you got to be a certain this, you got to be a certain that for anyone to even talk to you.
But hey, Mike, I got to tell you this. I got friends going down south, heading to the States.
Yeah.
They're telling me it's amazing out there. They're saying it's awesome. So they're saying, yeah, it's completely different out here. It's amazing. It's awesome. There's beautiful women. They respect you. I don't know. They're saying it's a lot better out.
Oh yeah. You wanna like meet up with friends. You got no. Let's say you move to Jacksonville, Florida. You move there, you don't know nobody. You want to make friends? Jump on the transit there, even though you don't need to use transit. Jump on the transit bus in downtown Jacksonville or something, or Daytona, wherever you are in Florida, and just talk to the people on the bus. You'll make 50 friends and get 20 numbers.
Yeah. You know, Mike, I don't know anymore. You know, all your callers talking about expensive real estate and stuff. I agree. Like, Saskatchewan real estate's coming down, but what's the point of living here? There's nothing going on here.
Yeah, I know. I understand. It's like, that's why I'm asking you as a, like, you know, what can you tell me is the driving force of the economy, right? And because this,
I'll tell you, Mike. I'll tell you what's going on in Saskatchewan. Okay, and I'm being 100% honest with you here. Okay, there's been a mass exodus of people. Okay.
Okay.
And what we have happening here is a massive influx of immigration. We have Filipinos, people from Africa, the Middle East, all over Asia. They're pumping them into Saskatchewan to fill this void. And you see it anywhere you go, any point of service or frontline sales, it's all being done by people from Asia, Africa, Middle East, because Canadians are leaving and they're trying to fill the void by this massive pump of immigration people coming in. And I was talking to a buddy at the Tim Hortons, he was telling me he's here, he's been here for a year now, and he has his immigration document. He can't leave Saskatchewan for 3 years, so they're filling the void with this immigration. And I think the immigrants are getting their citizenship and they're just leaving or going to the big cities once they get it.
You know what? I'm going to announce it here on my show right now. Saskatchewan needs a tech company. And that is, I'm going to stamp that for approval. And I do talk, I'm going to tell you this, and this is going to sound really bizarre, but I've been actually talking to big wig, medium wig, small wig tech companies, and they're looking for places that are affordable in Canada to set up tech industries that make sense. And I think I've been to Saskatchewan, I've been to Saskatoon, I have been there. I've been at the beautiful hotel that looks like a castle?
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about. It looks like an old castle. I stayed in that hotel. And I love...
Yeah, but Mike, here's the thing. The politicians don't get it. They keep upping the taxes. What company's going to come here if the politicians don't get it? They've got to lower taxes and make it incentivize these businesses to be here.
You know what they got to do? They got to do what some states do in the U.S. No taxes for 3 months or no taxes for 2 years, and get them in the door.
You know, Mike, I just don't see it happening. I mean, why has this province gone to the shits? I don't know. I mean, it really comes down to it.
Hello? So we lost our caller from Saskatchewan there, who's calling in, and he's very honest of what's happening here, what's happening in Canada and other major cities. I have been to Saskatoon many times, probably 4 times. I'm not going to say many times. I've been there 4 times. It is I like it. It's green. It's beautiful in the sun. Oh, they're calling back. So call me. Are you back?
Hello?
Hello?
Hey, Mike, how's it going?
Good.
Hey, yeah, you start calling, say, great show, loving it, yeah, looks pretty good.
Good. Where are you calling from?
I'm calling from Timmins.
Timmins, Ontario?
Yeah.
Holy smokes. Why aren't you sleeping? It's like 12 o'clock there.
I'm going through a divorce right now. I'm a little bit messed up, but anyway, that has nothing to do with this, but housing is a mess out here.
Out in Timmins?
It's a mess. It's a mess.
What's going on? Tell us.
Well, the prices are up about 10% this month alone.
Wow.
And you got people just like, it doesn't make any sense. Like, it's just the prices they keep going up monthly.
So, what position are you in now? Or do you own or rent?
I own. I bought about 8 years ago. Okay?
So you're safe.
But I just went through a divorce. But my son, he's 21. Okay.
Okay.
And you know, I want to start him out. I want to get him going. I want him to own something, right?
Like every normal father would want, yeah.
Yeah, and I went looking with him. Like we looked for about 6 months. We really went out and we were looking, and I just stopped him. I said, Matthew, let's stop right now. This is not going to work. The prices are just ludicrous. It's crazy.
Mm-hmm. And what are we looking at crazy? What's the average price for a place going out there?
Well, if you want to get a detached home,
3-bedroom,
a 3-bedroom, 3-bathroom, or 2.5-bathroom, we're looking at around 600,000 for a decent one.
In Timmins, Ontario?
Yes.
Sorry, I'm just in shock.
I was shocked.
I'm in shock. I'm in shock because wow, I don't even know what to tell you. Like it's. Yeah.
And the realtor, the interesting part is the realtor that we were with, he's with Remax.
Mm-hmm.
He said, let's put the brakes, this is not working out, let's put the brakes on.
Mm-hmm.
Because what happened was this, we would go looking, and we started looking back in about July, okay?
Mm-hmm.
We would go looking, and then in August, the prices, so what we were looking at in July, everything went up about 12%.
Wow.
And then in September, it was up 8%. And then in October, it was up 5%. And now we're in November, and we said, we're in December now, but in November, we said, let's stop. This is not a smart move right now. It's gone up about like 12% over those few months.
You know what it is? What's happening is that people are, how do you say it? There's a runoff on the housing market. We all know that, and that's what this show is about. But it's just enough that people can catch up to the game.
That's right.
And people aren't making more money. The problem is that price of living goes up, but our wages don't coincide with what it costs to live.
That's right. And the other caller made a good point. He said, who's buying it? Like, who can afford these prices? Who's purchasing these properties?
It's definitely, I can tell you, it's definitely not the Canadian or, Canadian. When I say Canadian proper, I mean people from all over the world, basically, that come to Canada, build it up, because Canada's a country of immigrants, right? And
that's right.
It's definitely not the people of those, it's people that, basically, let's just say people that don't have RRSPs are people that are buying up these places. You know.
Well, it's interesting that you bring that up because, like I said, with the properties that we're looking at, they got sold signs. They're selling. People are, I don't know who, but people are buying them.
But the problem, well, why don't you do some investigative reporting yourself and start to see who moves into these houses? I mean, you are looking out for your son. I'm looking out for my son. That's why I had to get out of the city I was in, right? And what's the population of Timmins?
About 250,000.
Oh wow, the city has grown since I left. I left Ontario many years ago, and I went south to Florida. But I remember Timmins being half that population.
Yeah, it's grown. It's grown. I would love to do research, but I'm going through a divorce right now. I'm trying to help my son out. I'm just too busy,
Yeah. Because, once in a while, it's good to know what's happening in your area and maybe... I mean, the only thing I could say is voting the people out in your area, in your Chamber of Commerce, maybe getting into... When you get some time, I'm not saying now, maybe a year or 2 years from now, maybe looking into becoming a district member of your Chamber of Commerce in your district area and then start getting a voice out there.
Well, I was thinking of going over and talking to my local MP because my wife stole about 50 grand from me in cash. And she disappeared.
Oh, really?
Yeah, she withdrew her bank account, took my money, and disappeared. She ran off with someone is what I'm thinking.
That's really sad to hear, bud. And you know what it is, brother?
Yeah.
And I'm going to be really frank with you. It's not just you. I'm getting every conversation I've been getting into in the last, 3 weeks. Everyone's been telling me that they're breaking up, they're getting a divorce, or they're separating.
Well, what it is, Mike, is that there's no security for a man in this country. A woman could just do whatever she could walk all over you. I got married thinking that everything was going to be fine. My kids are grown, thank God, but she really put me in a bad situation now, and I got a lot of things. I got problems I got to deal with because none of the laws protect me as a male.
Yeah, that's you know, it's something you just gotta. I don't know how to like the best way to say it is stay strong, focus. Maybe you know what? Maybe you need like I told the last guy, take a vacation. I know it's not in the cards. I know you're busy. I know it's not in the cards. Maybe go 2 weeks away somewhere and just forget about everything and come back with a clean mind. Anyways, we lost our caller. Wow. Very busy show tonight. Lots of comments. Yeah, lots of people here commenting in the comment section. I want to thank everyone for joining me. I've been on the air for 1 hour and 15 minutes. And what slow down house prices accelerate? Housing market has picked up pace again according to the latest QV data. Where is this? In New Zealand. Apparently, housing is going back up in New Zealand with the government basically in January passing a law that no foreign buyers can't buy into the market. So what is happening in New Zealand? So if you're down in New Zealand, I would like to hear right here, annual values fell 0%, $1 million in Auckland. By November quarter, prices gained 0.4%. So next week's show, if you're down in Auckland, New Zealand, or if you're in somewhere in New Zealand, and you could call into the show and give us a heads up on what's happening down there. And dire state of housing market has been laid out to new minister charge of official documents today. So this is happening down in New Zealand too. And why did I pick this article? They're basically saying that this is a social and economic disaster for the country. Phil Twyford hits out over the housing report. This is exactly right. There's someone that's standing up there saying it is a social and economic disaster. Like every caller that called in, your answer is this is a social and economic disaster. What do we do to fix this problem? And that's it, guys. I'm going to wrap it up. It's almost 1. I've been on the air for an hour, 20 minutes. Share this, get this out there. I'll be live next week. I want to thank everyone for joining me on the show tonight. I want to thank everyone for calling in tonight. I want to thank everyone for contributing with their stories. Very personal stories, too. I want to thank everyone for opening up. And sometimes opening up is a good way to do it. But take a vacation! Clear your mind! If you're going through such a bind, you know what? It won't hurt to take a week or 2 weeks off. Go somewhere tropical. Forget about everything for 2 weeks. Enjoy life. Anyways, Mike Martin signing off. Don't forget to call in next week. We'll have open lines. And I'll see if I can get this phone fixed. Thanks for watching, guys.